Legitimate homeless service providers can channel your donation to real solutions for moving people beyond homelessness. If you or your business would like to support Hope's cause, signs, flyers, posters, and bumper stickers will be available in support of this effort. If you are interested in receiving any promotional materials, please contact Hope locally at 909-387-0623. 909-387-0623. You can also call toll-free at 844-811-4673. That's 844-811-HOPE. Or you can send your request to Hope at sbcsd.org. And that's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Hi, welcome to AT&T.
Hi, can you tell us more about rollover data?
Yeah, what do we have to do?
Not a thing. If you're a Mobile Share Value customer, your unused plan data automatically rolls over for 1 month. It's our way of saying thanks.
That's so wonderful.
You know, let's hug.
Oh, that's okay. We don't have to.
I think we do.
Yeah, I think we do.
Nice.
Let's bring it in. Oh.
Oh, wow. And we're hugging. All three of us. Really hugging. Ooh, who smells like bacon?
Introducing AT&T Rollover Data. All mobile share value plans now come with rollover data on the network with the nation's strongest LTE signal. AT&T, mobilizing your world. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
Available only with AT&T Mobile Share Value plans. Rollover data automatically expires after 1 month or with any plan change. Other restrictions apply. Visit att.com/rollover data for details. Signal strength claim based only on average LTE signal strength for national carriers.
Randy! With real estate news, this is Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy.
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah, I had my mic switch turned off.
Why?
I don't know. Just happens.
Just testing everybody, see if they're catching on to what you're doing over there.
Exactly.
So not only is it hot out there, Bob, but I think we're on fire.
Yeah, I know in some places.
There's a big fire up on the hill behind us there.
Yeah.
And I've never been up that road 38 that goes up there to Big Bear. 330 is where I always go, so I don't really know where that is.
Yeah, well, they said it's on the backside of Big Bear. So as soon as it goes over the mountain, it'll get into the Big Bear Valley, and they're trying to stop that from happening.
Well, 17,000 acres.
I think they called it Quartz something or other, the
Quartz,
area. Yeah. Oh, well, it happens in California.
Getting rid of the dry shrubbery. Get it out of there so we can...
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to have El Nino this year, so we have plenty of water.
That's what they claim. Who believes everything the news tells you?
Well, did you see the water was so warm, they got all those crabs came up to that died. It was water.
You got crabs?
Well, I didn't want to say that out loud on the radio, but apparently they had a lot of them down in the marinas there.
That's what I saw them, yeah. That people were scooping them up and throwing them back in the water, and if they were alive, they swam away.
I guess that's a good indication of the warming of the water, which is a prelude or indication of El Nino.
Oh, it's not it's not about climate change?
Well, you know, everything's about climate change, Bob, and we made the water get warmer, man-made.
Maybe.
No, I don't think so. We probably contributed.
Well, you know, I read about a power generating plant up on the Navajo Indian Reservation. Has a continuous conveyor belt that brings in like 4,000 pounds of coal continuously, and it generates power for what was it? For the whole, you know, obviously the whole reservation.
Is that like in New Mexico?
And it puts out like particulates and carbon. I mean, it's like the worst thing for the environment up there, and so they don't know what they're going to do. Sooner or later, it may have to get shut down. But
it's on an Indian reservation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got like 4 giant smokestacks.
It's their own nation. They can do whatever they want there.
Well, I think the government built it there, though.
If we build it, we can take it down?
I guess. You never know.
I don't know how those things
work. You
work.
probably got to get permission to take it down.
You know, the coal burning plants do burn a lot, which is really kind of funny is that you know, we've really transitioned a lot of cars and stuff, and I really think the air quality has gotten a lot better in LA from like say 20 or 30 years ago when you got here, right, Bob? But think about it, all the electric burning cars and stuff, they all use electricity, and something like 80% of our electricity is generated by coal burning plants, right?
Or natural gas, one or the other, yeah.
So
folks, hey, don't forget, we are brought to you by Exit Inland Realty, your full-service real estate brokerage, and that's at 1450 University Avenue in Riverside. You can reach them at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010, and they have a fabulous website. That would be www.exitinlandrealty.com. So you certainly want to check that out.
Well, Bob, it seems like it's really getting slow out there in the real estate market. What do you think?
Well, actually, you know, I was talking with May, the lady from the
May
from the massage facility.
Yeah, that name doesn't go with her, but All the Way May's from
right,
a league of their own.
She
right?
said she's only had like one customer in the last week. It's been so dead.
Yeah.
And somebody else I was just talking to earlier today, and things were really slow. I don't know whether it's the summer or what's going on, you know.
Well, remember you
I can't believe they're all waiting for Janet Yellen.
Well, you gave me the
Yellen,
inside tip on the economic report by someone who does economic forecasts, and then I saw the thing on news with Rand Paul talking about the economic outlook.
You mean Ron Paul, Rand's father?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
One of those Paul guys.
Yeah, but he's a paid spokesman for
that group, right?
Stanberry, yeah. So, you know, obviously he's going to be in fact, he has his own website now where you can get statistics and stuff with him. Ron Paul Messenger or something, I forget. It was on. I saw the commercial on TV last night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a follower of his, but you know, after you had said something to me, and then I saw that, and you know, things are getting kind of slow. It makes you think, anyways, and wonder what is or is not going to be happening in the near future. I don't really know. I just think business kind of slowed down dramatically the last 2 months.
Well, generally, you know, out here when it's so blazing hot, there's not a whole lot that people want to do.
I would think they would want to drive around in my car.
One of my clients wanted to know if I wanted to do open house tomorrow up in the high desert, and I said, well, I don't know that a lot of people want to get up and go out and drive around when it's going to be as hot as it is this weekend.
Well, you know, funny you should say that, because I had a client said the same thing to me in the high desert. Said, hey, you going to do open house this weekend? I said, hey, I got a Little League tournament, man.
Yeah.
No, but I got an agent to handle it for me. So, but
right.
But yeah, you know, they're wanting those things, and I think part of that's because the
you know, less than 2% of all houses that sell ever sell as a result of an open house. It's a great opportunity for us to pick up new buyers to work with. Well, but if you're doing it in an area that's further away from what is considered to be your regular market area, you probably don't want a buyer up there anyway,
right?
Because you got to, you know, drive.
You're just finding yourself business that you really aren't going to service well, probably.
Well, it'll just make it a lot harder. Yeah, you better to find out stuff closer to home. That's for sure.
But you know, that's all about customer perception, right? Mm-hmm. Your seller, his perception is that that's what needs to be done to sell the house. You know, when ultimately, as I think you and I really believe, that no matter what we say, think, or do, it's the price that determines the sell of that house. Right?
Absolutely.
So, well, excellent, Bob.
It's all about price.
Price.
It cures anything.
So what's new and exciting in the news biz over there? You got anything on there you want to go at real quick?
Yes. Sosa bunts a home run and returned to Washington.
Well, you want to talk baseball? Because, you know, it is all-star season for me. This season's really been tough for me, Bob. And so I'm looking at the bracketing for all-stars, right, for the senior division. The 3 hardest teams are all in the same bracket. So even though I got to buy in the first round, I'm going to face the hardest team. And then if I lose, I'll face the second hardest team.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a hard one for me to get through. But we'll play on.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you know, I think right now, you know, generally things traditionally slow down as we get close to July 4th.
Well, I think that's true, yes.
You know, because we just had Labor Day week or Memorial Day weekend not too long ago, and all the advertisers are now they stretched their Memorial Day sales.
It was always all the way to a week after that. I was
a week or two after. Now, yesterday I saw the first 4th of July
buy
sale
your car and get
kicking
a special
off.
deal?
Yeah, so I think you know, they're trying to pump up the car business for the summertime, but Generally, by July 4th, things taper off for the summer. People start going on vacations. Kids are getting out of school, and so people are preoccupied with other stuff.
Well,
and that's why I always say generally there's somewhat of a dip in the summertime back until at least the end of September, and then it kicks off again.
Well, if you are thinking about buying a new home, put off that car purchasing because you're going to get a new debt on your credit bureau report, and it might throw off some debt ratio that you have. So keep that debt ratio intact. Hold off on the car buying until after you purchase the home.
Well, we were talking this morning about some legal stuff. This is a story by Benny Cass on Realty Times called "The American Rule on Legal Fees." And,
we were talking about legal stuff this morning.
Yeah. But, hey, folks, stay tuned, though. We're going to be right back, and we'll go right into that. This is Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy.
Woohoo!
How hard can it be? You put up a sign, you just wait for the offers to roll in. It becomes a second job.
Getting the house appraised and the comps.
The money that you think you're going to save, you end up losing. I've bought and sold homes before, and now the first thing I do is call a realtor.
Realtors have the experience to price your home so it can sell for up to 16% more than selling it yourself.
Using a realtor is a smart financial decision.
Get the facts straight about selling your own home. Talk to an agent, and be sure to ask if that agent is a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
It's way too risky to sell your house on your own.
Don't let your house go to foreclosure. Call Exit Inland Realty today. We can help you stay in your house longer, and we may be able to get you as much as $30,000 depending on the type of loan and the lender has a moving incentive. So don't delay. Call today at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010. And go to our website, www.exitinlandrealty.com.
I'm Tito Love from the TV show I'm Mad as Hell and I'm Not Gonna Take It Anymore. I'm so tired of stupid people that I've written SOS, Stuck on Stupid, the self-help book about common sense and philosophy. You can buy a copy at your local bookstore or at Amazon.com. Then visit MainPerformanceUSA.com for the complete story. Read SOS, Stuck on Stupid, the self-help book, and stay away from the stoopies.
Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy is brought to you by the sumptuous Chinese food restaurant in Riverside, the Mandarin Gardens. Experience all your Chinese favorites and your favorite tropical drinks at the Mandarin Gardens. Banquet facilities are available as well. 1445 University Avenue, or call for takeout 951-786-9887. Say hi to Jason, tell him Bob and Randy sent you, and he'll give you a free order of egg rolls. That's Mandarin Gardens, 1445 University Avenue.
B&C Cleaning Services. B&C Cleaning Services is the area's finest cleaning service. Their trained staff works in a variety of settings, including office buildings, schools and universities, retail facilities, medical offices, construction areas, and homes. Services that they offer are residential and commercial cleaning, general cleaning, carpet cleaning, window and blind cleaning, construction cleanup, special event cleanup, homemade service, I'll take one of those, ceramic stone floor cleaning, and other services available on request. All their products are safe for the environment, children, and pets. They guarantee you'll be satisfied with their work because, like their motto says, it's not clean until it's pristine. So if you want a greener community and a cleaner world, call B&C Cleaning Services. You can reach them at 888-659-4646. That's 888-659-4646. B&C Cleaning Services. We are back.
Woohoo! Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy.
And we're glad you're joining us today in this wonderful, really nice, warm day here in San Bernardino. It's It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so muggy. It's just a little muggy. If
yeah.
it was just our regular straight heat that we usually have, not so bad. But with that tropical storm they had down in Mexico, it's been spilling moisture into our area. It
too bad
makes it a little uncomfortable.
Couldn't come up another couple hundred miles north and give us a good dousing, right?
Well, it just makes you want to drink a cold beer all the time, when it's like this.
Well, nothing the matter with that, the way I see it.
No, unless you got to drive or something,
Well, no, Bob, I always put my beer down before I get in the car.
That's true, yeah, because you don't want to spill your drink.
No, you don't want to drink and drive.
Exactly, yeah. So we were talking about the American rule on legal fees, and this is something as an example. Benny Cass put this together. The question is, I obtained a home inspection before I took title to the house, and in reliance on the inspection report. He bought the house. I now have discovered that the inspector missed a lot of items, and it may cost me over $20,000 to correct. If I sue the inspector and win, will I be able to recover my legal fees? It's a good question. The answer is you have two hurdles. Every home inspector's report that this attorney has reviewed always contains what is known as an exculpatory clause. We are only liable up to the cost of the inspection. Obviously, that's not going to help you if you only paid a few $100s for the inspection. The courts generally have taken the position that where the exculpatory provision is conspicuous and presented at the time when the buyer has a meaningful choice, courts have honored the provision in the absence of gross negligence. So unless you're able to prove gross negligence, you may lose your case. The second hurdle is also known as the American rule of legal fees. In most cases, each side pays its own costs and lawyer. In fact, in England and many other countries, if you win the case, the loser not only has to pay for his or her attorney, but reimburse you for your lawyer's fees. As early as 1796, the United States Supreme Court made it clear the attorney fees are not ordinarily recoverable in the absence of a statute or enforceable contract providing for fees to the prevailing party. That's the case of R. Campbell versus Weissman. What's the rationale behind the American rule? According to a 1967 Supreme Court decision, since litigation is at best uncertain, one should not be penalized for merely defending or prosecuting a lawsuit, and that the poor might be unjustly discouraged from instituting actions to vindicate their rights if the penalty for losing including the fees of their opponent's counsel. So, you have to keep that in mind. So, as the court noted, there are a few exceptions to the rule, but this is something that you really need to talk to your attorney about. In our real estate contracts and agreements that we have, it does call for, if you're the losing party, you pay the legal fees, right. And that's right up front. And particularly, like we were talking about this morning on a mediation case, if the person doesn't contact us and ask to have the dispute mediated, and they go ahead and file a lawsuit, they basically waive their right to any legal fees,
right?
Because
it's breach of contract.
Exactly, yeah. So definitely check with your attorney about that.
Absolutely.
That's important, especially on like a home inspection, because that's a pretty critical part of your home purchasing.
And home inspections, they usually do a pretty, most companies that we use seem to do a pretty thorough job, and so I don't see them missing stuff on purpose, to get deals in. 20 years or 10 years ago, Bob, maybe some of those things were happening, especially with appraisals. They were really, moving values around, and home inspectors, they're in the side of whoever's doing the deal, right? But it seems like nowadays that's not so much the case. I think they got away from that stuff a lot.
The other big change we have coming up is mortgage loan application process is going to change. It was going to change August 1st, but I think I was notified today that that's being moved up to October 1st, which I think our industry is relieved because it's going to be a major change.
The CFPB moves the triad date to October 1. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau announced on Wednesday proposal to delay the effective date of the TILA-RESPA integrated disclosure rule until October 1st.
Yep. So on October 1st, loan documents to home buyers are going to be simpler and easier to understand. Two new forms, a loan estimate and a closing disclosure, will replace what is now called the HUD-1 settlement statement and the good faith estimate and truth in lending disclosure form. Those have been around since, I believe, the 70s or something, late 60s,
well,
70s.
We went to a training on it just this last week, Bob and I and a couple other folks from our office. And I got to tell you, Bob, the new form truly was much simpler, much clearer for the consumer to read and analyze and make some heads or tails out of versus the old form.
Well, the purpose of the new form is to simply simplify closing information and make it simpler for consumers to compare their estimated costs to final costs. Created by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau with input from consumers and interest groups like the NAR, National Association of Realtors, the new forms will hold lenders to 3-day deadlines so that consumers will have the information they need well before closing. The 3-day rule applies to both the loan estimate and the closing disclosure. Buyers should receive the former 3 days after applying for a loan, and I think that's if they show the loan officer 6 pieces of information that they need to see. That's what kicks in that they should receive the form within 3 days, and the latter 3 days before closing. That means that 3 days before you're going to have a closing, you're also going to get another statement at that time, which is going to tell you exactly how much money you have to bring in and everything. So buyers should take time to look carefully at any changes between the loan estimate and the closing disclosure. So that gives you an opportunity to compare from the beginning of when you started your loan and the end when they're ready to give it to you.
And if there's more than a certain amount of change, then they have to redisclose, right?
Yeah, I think it's getting to that. Consumers will have more transparent experience, including less confusing jargon and greater clarity concerning closing costs. On the new forms, the interest rate, monthly payment, and the total closing costs will be clearly presented on the first page, making it easier to compare mortgage loans and choose the one that is right for them. Important information will also be highlighted, including the costs of taxes and insurance and how interest rates and payments may change in the future. The information will help consumers decide whether they can afford the mortgage loan and the home now and in the future. So I guess that gives you a little bit more protection. The new forms also warn consumers about features they may want to avoid, like penalties for paying off the loan early or increases in the mortgage loan balance, even if the payments are made on time. Consumers will appreciate the first pages of the new loan estimate and the new closing disclosure look the same, so they can be more easily compared. The costs. If discrepancies are found, consumers can contact their real estate agent or their lender for more information. So it's going to be a major change in our industry. It's going to take a while for the new paperwork to settle in. I have been told that if you don't give your lender all 6 pieces of paper, that they could still give you a pre-qual letter without having all this other stuff kick in. But I think by and large, most people will probably go the whole route.
Well, one of the 6 pieces is a property address, is it not?
Yes.
So if you're just out shopping and haven't selected a property yet, you can then obtain the pre-qual letter to go shopping, but they won't be having to disclose right away.
Yeah, and then
if
you find a property or you narrow it down to an address, then you can go ahead for the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And Felix is going to be on shortly from Integrity First Financial Group, and he'll be happy to share more with us about that.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the things too, Bob, is your lender up to date on all these new rules and regulations. They are quite extensive, and I think it's really going to be quite a burden on the lender and the escrow companies to close in a timely fashion. And as we learned at that training, there's no exceptions. If they have to redisclose and there's another 10 days or whatever added to it, there's just another 10 days, and there's just nothing anybody can do about it.
Yep.
You can't waive it. You can't, even if all parties agree to waive it, it can't be waived.
Yep, you're absolutely right. So, we just went to a seminar last week to kind of get us primed up for that, and slowly but surely this is all going to be rolled out. There's also other provisions for the industry that people have to be certified with the CFPB and everything on certain procedures and ways that they handle your information and things like that. So I think for the most part it's going to be a good thing. It's just such a dramatic change after so many years that it'll take a little bit for the learning curve for everybody to get up to speed.
And once everybody really digests it, I think we'll be back into the 30-day closing time frames. But I think initially it'll probably be a little bit longer than that on average. Not
Yep.
all of them, but some of them. You know.
Yeah. So, folks, we're going to take a real short break here, and
when we come back,
pay
we'll have
some
Felix,
bills,
right?
and stick with us. This is Real Estate Talk with Bob and
Randy.
Don't let your house go to foreclosure. Call Exit Inland Realty today. We can help you stay in your house longer, and we may be able to get you as much as $30,000 depending on the type of loan and the lender as a moving incentive. So don't delay. Call today at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010, and go to our website, www.exitinlandrealty.com.
Hey, what you doing?
I'm online looking at a satellite view of the neighborhood.
Huh. What's with all the dots?
Green means it's for sale, yellow means sold.
Gotcha. Hey, is that the house we looked at?
Yeah, I love it. Maybe we should talk to a realtor, make an offer?
Did that house just go from green to yellow?
Yeah, sold. Right before our very eyes.
Buyers are in the market, but there's a shortage of homes for sale. If you've been thinking about selling, now may be the right time. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today or visit Realtor.com. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, hairstyling. For all your hairstyling needs, come to Plaza Hairstyling. We're located at 5184 Arlington Avenue in Riverside. For an appointment, call Pam or Sheila at 951-359-7376. That's 951-359-7376. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, hairstyling.
Are you in need of a home companion caregiver, personal care assistant, certified nurse assistant, or a home health aide? Then call 24/7 Keep in Touch Home Care. They offer 24/7 on-call service for long and short-term care, sleepover caregivers, post-operative care, respite care, hospice care, and live-in companions, serving San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange, and Los Angeles County. Call Joy for a free home care assessment today at 714-997-9936. That's 1-714-997-9936. 24/7 Keep in Touch Home Health Care. Also, a shout to our friends there at Back to the Grind in Riverside. Hi, Darren. Best coffee house in Riverside, California. Get your favorite coffees, smoothies, snacks, lunches, and they even have free Wi-Fi. Back to the Grind is located in downtown Riverside at 3575 University Avenue between Lemon Street and Orange Street. Back to the Grind. Call them at 951-784-0800.
Are back here with Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. And we have our very special guest here today, Felix Nieves from Integrity First Financial Group. He's here to talk about what's happening with interest rates and different mortgage programs and all that kind of stuff. Hi, Felix.
Welcome.
Hello there. Thank you for having me again.
Always a pleasure.
You keep on bringing me back. That's good.
How about that?
That's because your company does such a great job for us that we want to help those who help us. So.
Well, we appreciate that, but we also appreciate you. You know, it's a teamwork. Because anytime you do some type of transaction, to tell you the truth, you need help from both sides.
Well, one of the things that I really like, and obviously, we have a good relationship. You come to our show quite a bit, and then there's Chris is always out there. She's a phone call away, but on a couple of occasions, I've had called to get information sooner, faster, or better, right? And so Bruce, the owner of your office, he's a phone call away. He picks up my phone call every time, and he talks to me. And I just think it's such great customer service that I can go right to the owner of your company if I feel it's that important.
Oh, not only you, myself also, because I've worked for several companies over the years, and a lot of times you get a lot of promises what's available, but when it comes time to access them, it's like pulling teeth.
Right.
I tell you what, I've been doing this for 22, 23 years. Bruce is the best at getting access when
he's the real deal.
No, he is, and people talk about that. They do that, but I am so loyal to Bruce because he helps me. I want to help him, which helps the company.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So, what's the latest and greatest in the mortgage industry?
Well, here's the latest. I'm not sure if it's the greatest, but just to let people know. By the way, I want to be able to give my number out, so in case anyone has any questions.
Does your wife know you're giving your number out like that?
Yes, she encourages it because she likes for me to get a paycheck.
Oh, I see.
But my number is area code 951-202-8938. Again, that's 202-8938. And the reason Randy asked me if my wife likes that is actually she works with me, and she's kind of tough. She kind of beats me up, make sure I do my work on time, but that comes with the territory. But here's what's happening, and like I said earlier, it's not necessarily great, but the latest news is interest rates are on the upswing now. I know at the beginning of the year they were kind of down and they went up again, and I was concerned, and then something happened.
They fell back a little bit.
They fell back down. They felt good.
Yeah.
But you know what? The last few days and the last couple of weeks, they've gone up. But as far as historically, the rates are low still.
Right.
You're still in the fours, but you're not at like 3.875. You're not at necessarily 4. And as I explained once before, when somebody asks, "Oh, what's your interest rate?" There's a little bit more to that when you ask someone what the interest rate is, because different type of loans have different type of interest rates. FHA loans, they tend to have a lower interest rate than conventional loans, and it's not that FHA is going to be a lower payment, even though it's got a lower interest rate. They have that bad word that's called mortgage insurance. So when you have
MI on there.
Yeah, right. So when you add that MI automatically, FHA actually has a slightly higher rate than conventional. But so when you ask for an interest rate, you have to clarify it a little bit, because when people ask me, I actually tell them, oh, conventional is 4.5 today, and FHA is 4.25. But if you don't ask and they give you a rate that you don't know what type of rate.
And not only that, look. So let's just say hypothetically today it was 4.5 for that conventional, right?
Right.
But I gave you $10,000 to buy the rate down too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? When I was a little late today because we had that issue to buy the rate down on a program, it was costing $5,200, and yesterday I locked the rate for my son, my stepson. And boy, I cleaned out my pocket because I paid $5,000 to buy his rate down too. He better live there for 30 years so I get my money back.
Well, that's exactly what you got to do. And the right loan officer in my mind will consult with their buyer, the borrower, and let them know that, look, this $5,000, if you were to spread that out over the 30 years, or if you don't plan on living here 30 years, maybe you're only going to live here the next 10 years till your kids graduate from school.
Right.
Then you want to price that over the 10-year period, and then are you at least breaking even or having some savings? If not, then you don't need to buy it down that much, maybe, right?
No, you don't want to spend your money.
Out.
And the two examples, and I got one yesterday. I received a referral yesterday. I guess he's a kid, still 22. He graduated from college.
Compared to you and I, right?
Yeah, right. He is a kid. He graduated from college, but he went to UCR, but he's going back for his master's, and he says, Felix, I got a job that I work at. I'm going back for my master's. I want to buy a little house. I'm not going to necessarily live in that house forever, but since I have to live there in the area, instead of paying rent, I'm going to go ahead and buy me a house. And when I graduate, and then I'll go ahead and maybe liquidate it or wherever I end up getting a job at. Well, that kind of scenario doesn't call for a 30-year fix.
Right.
Why
Let's do
pay
a 5-1 arm or
4.5 when
something.
you could get a 5-year or 7-year, and you're paying down lower
Right.
in the 3s maybe or 2s. Right.
Right.
So that's an example. Of course, the other example I give is
just stop for a second there, Felix, and that I threw out 5-1 arm. Is that what they still call those, or
yeah. Well, I call
7-1
them a
arm?
5-1 arm and 7-1 arm.
And so for the public who don't know the jargon,
that's right. Yeah, 5-1 arm would be a loan that's adjustable for 5 years, and it's also just most of them adjust maybe once a year, sometimes twice a year, depending on whatever index they're on. And what I mean by index is when you're on an adjustable, they just don't automatically go down, up or down on just because they want to.
They're fixed to a particular type of index, like the LIBOR,
the
or something.
10-year or the 30-year fix. So whatever index it's on, it's monitored, and when it goes up and your 6 months is up to adjust or your year is up, you're going to adjust. Of course, it goes the other way too. It can go down, but I think we've seen down a lot now.
Well, we're so far to the bottom that it's going to go. If it's going to move, it's probably going to go up.
And another one that needs to get adjustable, and I think you mentioned it once because I'm not sure if you were in the industry, but I had someone who was, I think, a Kmart manager years ago, and they transfer them every 5 years.
That's me. I was a Kmart manager.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah, he was a Kmart manager, so he didn't want to get a 30-year fix because in 5-6 years he's here now
move.
and he's going to be gone tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the type of things, and sometimes people don't think about that, and it really costs them thousands and thousands of dollars over the loan.
So the right mortgage loan officer will have those conversations with them and find out really what is their short-term, medium, and long-term housing goals or mortgage goals, right? And put them in the right product.
And most of the time they don't, to tell you the truth.
Shopping for a mortgage is different than just saying, where can I get the best rate at? It might be the best product. What is the best type of loan for you as well?
Right. And also, the biggest thing, a lot of times people will say, what's your interest rate? I'm going to go with the lowest interest rate. I'll tell you what, going with the lowest interest rate, that might be okay. And by the way, most companies are usually within an eighth or so of each other as far as interest rates. But this is the way I look at it because I'll tell you what, I work loans. This is my life. I sleep loans. And if you have a difficult loan, I work them. Sometimes if you go to the lowest rate, you might want to have a cookie cutter type of loan because it's got to be a perfect type of loan because if you have issues, is there anybody there who can help you or give you the right options of what you need to do?
And how can they reach you, Felix, if they'd like to get some answers on that?
Boy, I'm glad
or
you
some
asked
help?
again. Okay, you can reach me at area code 951-202-8938. 202-8938.
So what are you seeing? Maybe what's 15-year fix going for right now?
I haven't looked at this 15-year fix.
Not many people take out that 15-year deal.
Not with the rates going up right now because when they were down a month ago or something like that, they were tempting.
Right.
Because they were so low that people were thinking, should I stick with the 30-year or go? I had someone go with the 20-year last month. And again, the good thing about that is when you get a 15-year fix, everybody loves the rate because the interest rate is usually at least 1% lower.
Right.
Okay, everybody's happy. But the bad part is you're now responsible
for
a
a higher payment
that's about maybe 1.5 times what you're paying now.
Right.
If you can do that, that's great. But you got to plan for the future and the type of industry you're in. Because if you're in the industry where you can do it now, but that industry fluctuates, 5 years, a few years from now, you're going to be thinking, I should have maybe stayed under 30.
If you had let's say a 7-1 arm, maybe 7 years ago when the market crashed, right?
Right.
Yeah, just before it crashed, maybe took out a 7-1 arm or something like that. And now the property values went down. For the most part, they've kind of recovered for the most part, right?
Right.
If you got a little bit of equity and you're thinking about maybe refinancing, well, now might be the time because the rates then were 6.5.
Oh, sure.
7, depending on what you got. You know what? You could come back to it now and probably get the 15-year note and probably have your payment about the same.
Yeah, no, I had that happen with a gentleman, a policeman out there in Corona not too long ago where he had a 10-year arm. It came in 10 years, it was up.
Right.
And he was at something like 5.5 or something like 5 3/4. Well, when he went down to like 4%, his loan was almost the same.
Right.
If he went 15 years, it's almost the same as what he was paying.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
yeah, you know what? Have a professional look at if you need to refinance it. You know, there's a lot of folks out there, Bob. We were talking about this the other day, right?
Well, that's why I had my friend call him, because my friend's in a situation with a second that he wants to refi.
He's got a HELOC
out of,
or something, right?
And so, you know, he was asking me, and I said, well, you need to talk to Felix because he's up to date on the latest programs, and if you got enough equity, and if there's a way for you to do it.
So if you have a second,
and the same thing with the other guy I talked to today, who was interested as a first-time home buyer. They haven't owned a home for over 5 years, and they were inquiring about what programs are available. So, you know, he's a wealth of information. That's why we like to refer everybody to him so we can help our customers out.
If you got a second or a HELOC, give Felix a call and let him do the due diligence, do some work on it, and see if he can
I'll make it happen. If
consolidate
it's possible,
those and lower your rate.
Yeah. You know, but now there's no walking on the gray area because of the laws. You got to go strictly by the book.
Yeah.
But if there's a way to do it, I know loans. It's
excellent.
One of those
well, we'll get her done. I think.
Yep. So we're going to take a real short break here. This is Real Estate Talk with Bob and
Randy. Woohoo!
To move in 90 days, and that was our goal.
Selling a home can be a challenge.
I've been through this type of market before. I'm going to be there every step of the way to guide them through it.
Realtors I work with know the markets that they're in.
They know how to market it. They know how to sell it.
Interest rates are at historic lows, which means more buyers are in the market for a home like yours. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today.
The market is always changing, and I'll always be ready for it.
Only Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Don't let your house go to foreclosure. Call Exit Inland Realty today. We can help you stay in your house longer, and we may be able to get you as much as $30,000 depending on the type of loan, and the lender has a moving incentive. So don't delay. Call today at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010, and go to our website, www.exitinlandrealty.com.
If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Hairstyling. For all your hairstyling needs, come to Plaza Hairstyling. We're located at 5184 Arlington Avenue in Riverside. For an appointment, call Pam or Sheila at 951-359-7376. That's 951-359-7376. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Hairstyling.
Are you tired of talking to stupid people? Then read SOS, Stuck on Stupid, the self-help book by author Tito Love. It's a humorous but serious book about common sense and philosophy. SOS will open your mind. Buy a copy of SOS, Stuck on Stupid, the self-help book at your local bookstore or visit Amazon.com. Then go to mainperformanceusa.com for the complete story. Read SOS, 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 and stay away from the stuppies.
Mom, I had the best dream.
Well, good morning to you, too.
Okay, so I was a knight. I had a sword, and our house was a castle. There was this angry dragon. It was kind of scary.
Oh, yeah?
But I protected the castle.
Oh, that's my brave little man. I'm glad our castle is safe.
Your home is your castle, and sometimes you need help defending it. The National Association of Realtors supports maintaining homeowner tax incentives because they make home ownership more affordable for more families. Learn more at houselogic.com.
It's Real Estate Talk with Bob and
Randy.
And we're still here with our special guest, Felix with Integrity First Financial Group.
Special. I like the way you say that. Special guest.
Absolutely special. Yep.
Okay. I need to get
And we're glad to hear about what's going on out there in the mortgage industry.
Okay. And
because, you know, right now people need a loan if they're going to buy a house. Problem is there's more people with loans than there are houses for sale.
There's more people looking for homes. And, yeah, right, because inventory is low right now. Yeah, that creates a little issue with prices because what is that, Econ 101, supply and demand?
Supply and demand.
Right.
You know, big old capitalists like you making all that money out there. I see how you are, Felix.
Yeah, right.
Trying to keep a man like me down, huh?
They used to before the industry had changed and you could control rates better. They used to call me Par Felix, or they used to laugh at me because I used to
sell par all the time.
Yeah, I used to sell the low rates, and I used to always say, "Hey, the people like me, and they come back," you know.
Right.
And they do. Those are the people that I get calls. When my calls come in right now, half of them are people that I've done or their parents or something like that.
You don't need to fluff everything you do, right? And
no.
And you know, if you have kind of a standard of the way you're going to work, let everybody know how it is that you work, and make your reputation off that. You don't have to you don't have to get rich off every single client that you do.
No. And right now, you really don't have that much fluctuation in rates where you could, like the old days, you could really, distort the rates. But now you really don't happen. But
yeah, and then origination fees in there and all kinds of stuff just piled in there, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. No, I've had bad examples myself. I went to go buy a spa, and you know, one of those big spas, and this was like before the market crash. And the salesperson was telling me, they're refinancing their loan. So I said, here's my card in case you have any questions. Maybe I can have. He said he was having a hard time. He said he got ripped off by a lender. So I gave him my card, and he looked at my card, and he says, "Do you know Letitia?" And I go, "Yeah, there's a little girl, yeah." She ripped me off. She said,
"Is that in your office where you were working?"
Yeah. I go, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then I said, "She's not there any longer," and she wasn't.
Yeah.
She had to bite. She bite the bullet because you can only get away with that for
so many times,
so long, and then you have to go somewhere else and do it. You know.
Yeah.
But now it's you can't do it at all because the government's so strict on how things. It's really amazing.
Well, Section 32 and all those kind of things. That, you know, so many fees that you can put into a loan versus the cost of it. And
yeah, but you know, you get over-regulation, and then it's counterproductive sometimes because on that Section 32, remember when the lower price homes?
Yeah, you can't hardly finance them.
You can't finance it because you're breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Boy.
Because you got to have. I mean, you know, there's dozens of people behind the scenes that have to get paid on every deal, and you know, when you go Section 32, and the cost can't be over a certain percentage of the loan, and when you get to that point, well, you can't pay your processor, your underwriter. I mean, you know, you just got to take all those fees out.
Boy, no, they made some adjustments to that, but it's been tough, and even disclosures, like I mentioned to you, when I purchased my home not too long ago. It was 123 pages of disclosures I had. Now, I don't know too many, and it was a VA loan, but I don't know too many consumers who's going to read
all that.
123 pages. It's better to have 20 pages, get the highlights and summaries in those, and people will read those.
Well, that's what's happening, like we talked about with the hero loans. You know, people just don't read those contracts and don't understand the ramifications of what they've signed. And, you know, I try and encourage my clients to read the paperwork that I'm presenting to them and stuff, but many times it's just so lengthy that it takes, you know, more than what they're willing to get invested in time-wise.
Well, you mentioned a hero loan. You might want to mention to people that we had a discussion on that and what a hero loan is.
We did have a discussion about that, and that's, you know, to finance home improvements and stuff, and it's not
a lot of solar's being done through there, right?
Solar, yeah, new grass replacements, roofs, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to refinance or you want to sell your house in the next 3 to 5 years, it's not a good idea to get a hero loan on your property because it is they put the loan in front of in front of your bank's loan.
And it's typically 3 times the cost if you were just to buy it outright to do those improvements.
Prepayment penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought those things were gone, prepayment penalty, but on the hero
loan, there they are, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's incredible.
Yeah, and the interest rate is not really consumer friendly.
Well, hey, I just want to give a shout out, Bob. You know, this weekend, as we talked about at the beginning of the hour, it's going to be warm out there. There's going to be some things going on, but in the high desert, there is going to be an open house, Bob.
Aha.
And I think it's the only one. I think everybody should come to this one because it will be.
Oh no, they'll be at your baseball game.
I'll be at my baseball game, but
But they aren't going to go to an open house if you have a baseball game.
Well, the White Sox are playing. We are a pretty good team in the high desert, and I imagine that everybody will be vying for a ticket to my little
Are
league
any
baseball
of the
game.
local, like the local cable company or anything? Do they cover your games?
They do not on the first district. I mean, probably a little bit. We get a little publicity out of the Spring Valley Lake, out of the Breeze newspaper. And there is a local radio station up there that's doing some local sports stuff. But after we get to the sectional tournament, Bob, we get a little bit more coverage. And the tournament after that, ESPN starts covering us. So if
Is that Little League?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nomar, you have Nomar is what relation to you again?
He's
a cousin or something?
I guess he would be my nephew and my godson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nomar Garcia-Parra, for some of you baseball fans out there from the Dodgers and Boston before that, I guess,
Boston,
right? He's an announcer. He does all the Little League World Series. I'm assuming he's doing it again this year.
I'm not sure if he's doing it this year because now he works for the last 2 years. He's worked for the Dodgers. He loved. That's when he went to ESPN. They asked him what do you want? He says Little League, and he says everybody wants Little League.
Well,
he did it though.
What's amazing is I get in discussions all the time with different venues of baseball, and really all the major leaguers. You never hear one of them go, "Yeah, I owe it all to playing ABC baseball." It's always I owe it all to Little League baseball or whatever, because Little League is the premier youth sports organization in the world. But anyways, Bob, I'm having an open house up there, 14042 Driftwood Drive in Victorville. That's actually in Spring Valley Lake. And this house is a stone's throw from the water. It's not actually right on the water. It's around the block. But you can see the lake from the back balcony. This house is 2,518 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. A 2.5 bath actually. It's 2 levels. It's got a 3-car garage and it has a pool. Not a lot of houses in the lake community there have pools. I mean, a fair amount, I guess, but not a lot. So this property has a nice pool. It's a very well maintained property. The open house will be on Saturday, the 20th, from 12 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And Grace Montez, one of our agents from our office, will be up there handling the open house in my stead.
That is great.
Yeah, come on out.
What's the square footage on that property?
2518.
Good size.
Yeah,
Good
built
size,
built in 1986.
So, folks, we want to remind you this is Real Estate Talk with Bob and
Randy.
And we are on every week from 3 until 4 on every Thursday. And we're glad that you listened to us today. And, I'm sorry we can't make it any cooler for you, but maybe next week's show will be in a cooler environment.
A little bit cooler environment.
So, any other I just want to promote, I also have a new condo for sale over in Ontario. It's at 912 Turner, which is right off of the Haven exit of Interstate 10. And very convenient location, lots of great shopping around it and everything. It's priced at $314. It's 3 bedroom, 2.5 baths. It's a 2-story townhome, has its own 2-car private garage, and both one of the back bedrooms and one of the front bedrooms both have a balcony, and I guarantee they won't fall like the ones in San Francisco. But it's a great buy, and it's a great location. So if you're looking for a condo, give me a call. You can reach me at 951-318-1952. That's 951-318-1952. And don't forget the great golf course view home that I have up in Hesperia, right on the 8th hole of the golf course. It's an immaculate shape. It's a big home, almost 4,000 square feet, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Has an indoor spa room that has its own waterfall and in-ground spa. Right off the master bedroom. Has a 1,000 square foot living room. It's a great house for entertaining or if you have a big family. So keep that one in mind. It's at 8732 Pico Avenue. That's 8732 Pico, and you can also reach me about that property. Their asking price on that is $339.5. So it's down to a good price. It's about $86 a square foot. There's not much you can find up there in that area for that price. So, don't forget, folks, this is a Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy, and we'll have maybe Felix back next week to update us on what happens out there in that big, bad mortgage land.
Okay. Before we go, though, I want to mention one item.
You do?
Yes, and it has to
be quick.
It's important to people because what happens, you know, our industry, the market changes. You know, every once in a while, you know, we get around, it's a buyer's market, seller's market. But first-time buyers, when the inventory is short like it is now, it's hard for them to get their program accepted when you use that. But you know what? We haven't had necessarily a buyer's market in a while. So when we get one of those, they're going to be king, because when they walk in, you know what? And there's only one buyer and 100 houses for sale. No matter what program you got, they love you.
So get pre-approved now.
Yeah,
be ready.
Right.
Absolutely. So, folks, we want to thank you for listening with us today. We want to thank our excellent engineering staff in there doing their great job. And we're going to be back next week. This is Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy.
KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m. The station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. Stocks soared higher today, pushing the Nasdaq to a fresh all-time closing high as the Dow shot up 180 points. The Nasdaq gained 6.